Tour Survival Guide, what you need to know if you're going to see Taylor Swift at Wembley. Taylor Swift is once again ready to shake it off with fans in the UK with 5 nights of the Eras Tour in London. With support from acts including Paramore and Ray, her nights at Wembley are sure to be worthy of the praise they received during her earlier shows in the country. Having attended the first night of the Eras Tour in Edinburgh back in June, I can almost guarantee that Swift won't disappoint, but that there are things you should keep in mind to survive the Eras Tour and make the most of your experience. Here are my top tips for seeing Taylor Swift in London. It may seem like common sense, but Swifties take their dedication to Taylor's eras and their specific styles very seriously. I spotted many high heels and sandals as well as countless cowboy boots, and while I commend those with the strength and courage to wear them, it also concerns me. I wore my well-broken and Dr. Martens and my feet were still sore by the end of it from a mix of the queuing, tiptoeing to glimpse the stage, and then power walking to the train station after it. Granted, I was standing, but I also saw a lost pair of shoes in the crowd. Don't let your sore feet spoil the experience. Although I saw the Eras Tour in Edinburgh, there are so many people involved, it's best to brace yourself for queues. Whether you're trying to get into the venue or attempting to buy food, it's highly likely that you'll have line up at some point. If you're getting ready for gates opening, pay attention to your ticket. There will be signs around the venue directing you to the correct color entry zone and guides on hand to help point the way. But if you're like me, someone who is somewhat directionally challenged, factor in some extra time for getting into the stadium proper. But on top of that, the merchandise stall queue was busy almost the entire time I was there. The toilet queues were so long, I resolved not to drink the entire time, and the food queues almost had me missing Pamore's entire set. I went to grab some food at around 5 p.m. and queued up to order. I asked how long the food would take when I finally reached the till and was told around 20 minutes, 30 max. This didn't end up being true. I ordered my food before Pamore's set started, and by the time it was actually in my hand, they had finished their last song. Regardless of being prepared for them, it's best to get the queues out of the way before you do anything else. Otherwise, at concerts, it's a fine line between staying hydrated and enjoying yourself. There's nothing worse than needing the loo when you're trying to enjoy Taylor Swift's elaborate Eras Tour production. But if you need to use the toilet, do your research on the set list and try to be strategic when you go. If you're really lucky, you might even be able to do what my sister did and chance the merch stand when it's almost empty. While London isn't Edinburgh, sitting around for hours and waiting for performers to come on stage in high stadium seats could become uncomfortable, especially for those who may have traveled from abroad to see Taylor Swift. When I saw the Eras Tour in Edinburgh, the weather was actually relatively nice in the standing section, though Taylor did have to acquire gloves because of the cold. I was sheltered from a lot of the weather by those around me and spent more than half of the concert with my jacket off. However, it did reach a point where I had to put that on, as well as the cardigan I had taken in my smaller than a sheet of a 4-tote bag, as the sun fades. Those up in the stands may not fare so well without the surrounding body heat, and that's without considering what will happen after you leave the venue. So, pack some layers and anticipate weather of all kinds by perhaps picking up a travel-sized sun cream. I've had plenty of experience getting to and from gigs using public transport, but the chaos of the Eras Tour in Edinburgh was something else altogether. The capacity for Murrayfield was increased to around 73,000 people each night, but London Wembley has a capacity of around 90,000. Expect trains and other methods of public transport to be jam-packed. There will also be some controlled chaos as you leave the stadium, with all those bodies shuffling out of the stadium and towards home. In Edinburgh, we headed from Murrayfield to Haymarket, and when we were close enough to the station, the roads were split off depending on if you were getting the tram or train. Water was being handed out, but by the time we were actually allowed into the station, we were being crammed into barriers and guided around like cattle. And with even more people to contend with at Wembley, you could consider leaving before karma begins to get home as quickly as possible. Not to be trite, but if you're going to see Taylor Swift at Wembley, enjoy yourself as much as possible. I learned I'd be going pretty much 24 hours before the first show, and all the last-minute stress was nothing compared to being there. As much as my feet ached, I was indeed among those in the crowd chanting more. Hopefully you all have a wonderful time. That is it from today's video. Eras Tour Survival Guide, what you need to know if you're going to see Taylor Swift at Wembley. If you do not agree with this video and have some of your own opinions, share them with us in the comments section down below. Keep visiting Gossip TV for more videos about celebrities. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.